Show me who your critics are and how many you have, and I can tell you how much real value you're bringing to the world. Hey everybody, Randy Gage here. I want to welcome you to another episode of Prosperity TV. I'm back home, Southern California, and I want to talk about the critics. I want to talk about the haters. I want to talk about the people who talk down you and or your work. Here's the thing I want you to understand. Did a lot of work for years with people who wanted to be speakers or people who wanted to be authors, people who wanted to be thought leaders in some way, people who wanted to be influencers. They wanted to lead a tribe. And one of the things, I remember talking to one of them, and he was so proud of the fact that he had never offended anybody, and nobody ever had a bad word to say about him, and all you could hear about him anywhere in the universe was what a sweet, nice gentleman he was, and blah, blah, blah. And one of the things I told him is, I think that's one of your problems, and I think that's why you're not really making an impact in the market, is because you don't have any critics, you don't have any haters. And the reason you don't have any haters is because you haven't put out anything thought-provoking. You haven't put out anything challenging. You haven't grabbed your tribe by the throat, by the collar, and shook them and said, wake up, I need you to hear this, I need you to see this, I need you to think about this. I need you to think about it in a different way. That's what people who do amazing work do. Whether it's songwriters, script writers, sculptors, actors, politicians, corporate leaders, business leaders, entrepreneurs in many ways, we have to be willing to have some critics. Because if you don't have critics, I promise you what you're doing is mediocrity. It's mired in mediocrity. I had an event, mastermind kind of a event recently, working with one of the guys there. He's got a new book out. And I was really excited to this book because this was kind of something I had suggested to him the year before. Hey, come out for this book for executives on the key things they need to know. So he spent a year, created this book with a co-writer and brought it, and I was like, dude, you got to give me more, because it was, I'm going to say, I used the example, don't run with scissors, or, and I'm being a little facetious, but that was the content, the kind of content that this was. This was supposed to be 7 thought-provoking thing, and it was 7 things that anybody who had ever done 10 minutes research on this subject would have said, well, of course I know that. Of course we all agree with that. If you don't have some haters, I promise you, you're not doing world-class work. You're not doing work that has meaning because you're not challenging people. And you can tell, you can kind of judge the value of the person or the value of their work by who are the people who attack them, right? If I look at my reviews for the Mad Genius book, and read the quotes and read the reviews on Amazon.com and things, I get a lot of 5-star reviews, and then I get 1-star reviews, and I read them all. But I look, and you can always tell, because a lot of the 1-stars are the people who are like, well, he didn't tell me how to do this and this and this and this. They're looking for a traditional business book. Of course, Mad Genius wasn't that kind of book. It was a book to make you think. It was a book to make you think about things in ways you had never thought about them before. Look at the people who attack, who are my haters. They're the fundamentalist evangelical people. And I'm happy for that. I'm proud of that, because I think those are probably people that would have the hardest time being critical thinkers. And what? Because they're very programmed with so many memes since they've been indoctrinated since childhood to believe some very implausible, very irrational, very, I would deem, crazy things that they don't think are crazy at all, right? So they're very threatened by my work, and I get attacked by those people a lot. But that tells me my work has meaning, because my work is about critical thinking, about questioning the premise. So what about you? It isn't about me. I'm talking about you. What about your work? And so don't put all that in the comments. I'm not interested in doing that debate with anyone, because that isn't what it's about. It's about you. What's the work that it means something to you? The book you need to write, the project you're working on in your business, the venture you want to launch. Instead of thinking, how can I do this so I'm so politically correct and no one would be offended and no way it could be misconstrued, what is the work you could be, should be doing that would attract some critics, attract some haters, because you were rattling some molars. You were actually making a difference. You were challenging people. And when you do that, you know you're doing amazing work.